Welcome to the workshop on understanding phonics. My name is Miss Lorraine Wade. I'm the head of Foundation Stage 2 here at the Early Years Centre, and I will be talking you through our phonics programme that we run in school, giving you a better understanding of how we teach that so that you can best support your child at home. So what is phonics? Phonics is a method for teaching children how to read and write the alphabetical language. It's done by demonstrating the relationship between the sounds of the spoken language and the letters of the written language. So we create a relationship between the sounds that we hear and the sounds that we see on the page. There are three key components. All words are made up of individual sounds, and these sounds are called phonemes. For example, the word spoon is made up of the sounds s, p, oo, n, and these sounds are merged together to form the word spoon. Now, a grapheme is another name for the letter or group of letters that we use to write the sounds, so the spelling of the sounds on the page. You can see here that some graphemes have single letters, some graphemes have two letters, and we do also have graphemes of three letters too. We then, of course, have our alphabet, so we have the letters, the letter names that we give to the alphabet, S-P-O-O-N. Now, the English alphabetic code, we use 44 sounds to make all of the words in the English language. Now there, you can see there's a problem already. We've got 44 sounds, but only 26 letters of the alphabet. So those 26 letters work singly, in pairs, or sometimes in threes to represent one sound. In English, we have more than 150 graphemes. That's more than 150 ways to represent 44 sounds using just 26 letters in the alphabet. So it makes it one of the most complex languages to learn. So phase 1 phonics, before children arrive to FS2, these skills support the importance of speaking and listening and develops children's discrimination of sounds, including letter sounds. Now, the children are not shown any graphemes during this phase of phonics, and they're not introduced to reading any words. But all these skills lay the foundation for phonics work, which starts in FS2. We do a baseline assessment when children arrive in FS2, and these are the skills we look for. We are looking to see if children's ears are tuned in to recognizing sounds and if they have the skills of oral blending and segmenting. Here at the Early Years Centre, we use a programme called Read Writing to Teach Phonics, and that's a programme that then continues through the primary school, and your child will continue their journey. First, we teach sounds, and then the children practice reading and spelling words containing these sounds they have been taught. Then we give children decodable books containing words and sounds that they can read. Children also learn to spell the words that they've been reading and develop their ideas into sentences so they can write about these. Using Read Writing, we make learning as easy and structured as possible because we start teaching them by just one way of reading each and every sound. Here you can see them on this speed sounds chart that we use. We teach the set 1 sounds first. These are the highlighted sounds. We teach 3 sounds a week, and at the moment we have just finished teaching all the single letter sounds. We then assess the children to check that they've retained the sounds we've taught, and we'll then move on to teaching the 2 letter sounds such as sh, ch. All of these phonics checks are shared with you live on Seesaw, so similar to the egg word check, you do get to see what sounds your children have retained and what sounds they are still working on. And we personalise learning based on that. So following that, children will then get specific teaching according to the place they are in their reading journey. So they will be taught new sounds as a whole class and will then work in smaller groups on specific sounds or skills that they are working on. It's very important to note that children need to know the sounds, not the letter names, to read words. So we don't focus on saying those letter names A, B, C, D, etc. We use the phonemes. We use these set one phonemes and pictures to help the children remember them. Each picture is introduced with a small story and we then link it to the grapheme. So for example, you can see we've got the letter M. The phoneme for this is M. We would tell the story that here is a little girl, her name is Maisie, and Maisie likes to walk up mountains. Here you can see Maisie is stood next to a big mountain and another big mountain. Maisie, mountain, mountain. We'll then link that to the sound and the children should then remember the shape of that phoneme and how that grapheme looks on the page. It's really important that we're saying pure sounds. We try not to say duh, we say duh, 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 duh. Here is a short video just to support you with how to say the sounds correctly.
These are the set one sounds. These are the stretchy sounds. Oh, zzz, sh, These are the bouncy sounds. B, k, k, d, g, h, j, p, qu, ch, w, x, y, ch, a, e, I, o, a.
Alongside teaching children sounds, we teach them to blend sounds to read words. For example, a, t. We blend those sounds together and read the word hat. And we use Fred Talk to help children read. Let me introduce you to Fred. Fred can only speak in sounds. Fred would say d, og. He would also say at. Speaking like Fred helps children to understand that words are made of sounds. Fred helps the children practice blending sounds together because he needs the children to say the words for him. So Fred says d, og, and the children tell him the word is dog. We use Fred fingers to help children sound out words to spell easily. It means they don't have to memorize a list of spelling words. It's a tool so they'll be able to spell any word they know. And it's important to note that the egg words run alongside our phonics program. These are high frequency words, so words that appear often in books, so children must learn to read them by sight. Often these words cannot be decoded using Fred Talk. Alongside phonics, if children learn sight words, they'll then become more fluent readers. So by the end of the year, the expectation for reading in FS2 is for children to be able to say a sound for each letter of the alphabet, to know 10 digraphs, which are the 2-letter sounds. They should be able to read words by sound blending using Fred Talk. And they should be able to read simple sentences and books, including some of the egg words we've discussed. So this is an example of a sentence that by the end of the year, the children should be reading. You can see a mixture of egg words, and you can see there's also words that the children would need to decode. Now, what can you do at home? It's important to really instill a love of reading. We don't want any of this process of learning these reading skills and sounds and egg words to become something a child dreads doing. Keep it short, keep it fun, and keep it often. Share your love for reading with them. You can use the pure sounds, not letter names. Use Fred Talk throughout the day. Listening to your child reading every day, even just for 5 minutes. That could be a storybook that you have at home that they're familiar with, or their reading book that we provide. Read stories with your child every day. Even again, if it's just 5 minutes, they're really being exposed to that key vocabulary and language. Practice those egg words that they're getting each week from their teacher. And also use the learning summary on Seesaw. This learning summary will tell you the sounds that we have learned that week. It will also give you the words that you can practice doing Fred Talk and blending. So it's a really important document for you to check to support that phonics learning at home. Now, you may practice flashcards, but there's also lots of fun you can have with sounds, like going on a sound hunt. An example in this picture, the child has written this sound, and we've practiced finding things around the house that begin with this sound. You can do that whilst you're out shopping, out at the mall, going on a walk. You might look for sounds all around. Again, writing doesn't have to just be with a pencil and paper sat at a desk. We can make that fun also. We can write with different media such as paint, chalk. You might make sensory trays with rice to practice using their finger to form letters. And one of the really fun ways that we know children love to write is using mirrors or windows. Now these, with dry erase, they wipe clean immediately, so it's a really fun way to practice writing. We've got Fred games. As I said, you can use Fred Talk throughout the day. For example, just like the game Simon Says, you can do Fred Says, put your hand on your head. You could also play games like I Spy. I spy something that is red. The children have to then blend those sounds together to know what you're asking them to do. And it's a really fun way to get them practicing those blending skills. As I mentioned, we use the read, write, ink scheme of work here in the Academy. We don't use Jolly Phonics. So please, whenever you're finding resources to support your child, make sure it's following the same scheme. There's lots of online resources that you can tap into. Here's just a couple of links that you can follow. If you do have any questions following this, please contact your class teacher, and I'm also always around to answer any questions you have. Thank you so much for listening.